Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, I have finished a long 4-month journey of just patrolling through message boards, phone calls, you name it, dealing with idiots, deadbeats. Finally, we have 16 competitive-minded, competitive-spirited people to play in the inaugural season of Major League Fantasy Baseball 3, our points league. Man, I can't even tell you. I can't even express with words other than I'm having a glass of wine right now while the rest of you guys are out probably enjoying St. Patty's Day weekend or whatever. I have been slaving trying to find all of you guys. Finally, we have the group that I was looking for. A very, very solid group of 16, and both leagues are finished, so I have no more recruiting to do. I literally have tons of time on my hand now, so I was actually thinking about maybe taking up crack or something. I don't know. Obviously, I'm kidding. But anyway, I wanted to get into a couple of pieces of information about how the leagues run before we get to the draft. I promise you it'll only take a couple of minutes for me to go through, and then I'll point you where you need to go to actually, read all that stuff yourself. I just want to make sure you have a good basis. The trading process, I think I've just talked about our unique trading process with every single person in the league. I don't know how in-depth with every single person, but there is an area on the blog. If you have not found that yet, you need to find your way over to the blog. It's real easy to get to, majorleaguefantasysports.com, or on the league's homepage, Major League Fantasy Baseball 3, the homepage. There's direct links for all of our websites. Obviously, the blog would be one of them. Now, when you get to the blog, along the right side, you're going to see, on the right side of the page, you're going to see our logo, which looks like the old logo from Major League, the movie back in, I think it was done in 87 or 88. Underneath that, there are going to be photos of the authors, and then just underneath that, there's going to be some pages directed towards some of the authors, and then there's one specifically that right at the top, it's the first one, it says Rules, Regs, and Payouts. Please, I implore all of the new owners, people that are not familiar with how we do things, how things run, how things are going to work, I implore you to try to absorb as much of that information as humanly possible. This is the first season for everybody playing in this type of a format. However, we do have several guys that have played in our leagues in the past. They just haven't played in the points format. But all the the trading and all that stuff is exactly the same. So feel free to reach out to any of those guys and ask them for some help. Leave me, Wayne, Mark Triplett, and Jeff Nelson are all people with experience there, so they'll all be helpful to you if you do have any questions. In regards to the actual roster settings and that kind of thing, there is one thing I did want to touch on. We obviously put this together the right way. We put it together to where it really expounds fair play. What I really frown upon and what will not be allowed is those of you who do not want to field a legal roster. The legal rosters are very important, which means in the points league especially, it's majorly important in the points league because your guy can go negative that day or positive. So every single team has to field a legal roster every day. That doesn't mean every single player in your lineup, the team has to be playing that day. But there are two things. The player cannot be injured, cannot be an injured player, and it can't be a guy that's not in the major leagues yet. So like for instance, last season, Mike Trout was drafted in our first league, but he wasn't in the major leagues until the end of the month. So if somebody would have put him in their lineup in April at some point, that would have been an illegal roster until he gets called up. Really simple process, very simple to understand. No injured guys in your lineup, period, ever, for under no certain circumstances. The only reason that they would be in your lineup is if it's something that was discovered just before the game. It's a day-to-day type situation. That's different. Now, the minor league guys, you can keep injured guys on your bench or minor league guys on your bench if you want to. That's up to you. Now, also the DL. There's another little point of contention here. There's 5 spots in the DL, and those are only for people that are injured. Only for people that are actively on the DL can be in those spots. So if you've got a guy stashed in the DL and then he comes back and you leave him on your DL for more than a day, that's a legal roster. You need to get him off your DL and drop whoever you picked up that replaced him or whoever you feel like dropping. That will not be allowed. Now, there is going to be a penalty assessed to those of you who feel like you just don't need to or don't want to field a legal roster that day. What I mean by that is if you start a guy that's injured, okay, and we kind of discussed the whole situation with if it's guys day-to-day or something like that, and they don't know if he's going to play that day, our game's locked first game of the day. There's not much you can do about it. But you cannot have any open slots, where there should be an active guy. You'll get a penalty for that. You'll get a penalty for having a DL guy on your active roster, which means they're playing that day, but on your team, but they're on the DL, okay? And then also, if you have a minor league prospect in your active lineup, those will all come with penalties. Every single person that you stick in your lineup that week that fits that bill, you'll be deducted minus 10 points for every player that you do that with. Okay, so that should be enough of a deterrent for you to figure out I shouldn't do that. Okay, and I can imagine there may be a point at some point where somebody at the end of the week might say, "Oh well, I'll just take the 10-point penalty." That's frowned upon. I want you guys to compete on a level field of competition. Means everybody needs to be on the same page. So please, have a little class in regards to how you play your opponent every week. A lot of our rules, you guys are going to have to, this is a rule across the board for all leagues, we police each other. So I can't watch every single matchup in each league, see who's doing what. So each competitor, their matchup needs to police what the other is doing. If they're doing something illegal, then I need to be contacted via email or text or something like that and told about it. So, obviously I'm not going to be able to keep an eye on everybody. That's pretty much all I wanted to get to right now. I just want to make sure that was understood, because sometimes that's a little confusing. Oh no, there's one other thing. 12 starts a week means just that, 12 starts. Not 13, 14, 15. ESPN has this nonsense. I talked about it in the last draft video. It's called a hard or soft cap. That's nonsense. There is no hard or soft cap. A cap is a cap. Our cap is 12. So if you've got 11 starts, you already made 11 starts going into Sunday. You can only make one more start for 12. You can't make 4 more starts because the software allows you to go over the 12 for some stupid reason. But you could only make 12. That's it. You have to have a minimum of 50 innings. It's in the, obviously you want to qualify for your pitching statistics. Minimum of 50, max of 12 starts. Okay, wanted to get that through. Now I'm done talking. I'm going to take a sip of my red wine here because I'm so stoked about being done with this. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this draft. I do the draft order. It's real simple. I have these little pieces of paper. There's 16 of them. They're folded up into 3 pieces. And the names, the person's name and the team name will actually be on the piece of paper. So they're all folded up like this. Okay. And here is all 16 of them here. I don't know if you can see them or not. And then I have a hat here. Okay. I'm going to throw them in here. Okay. And the hat's going to be facing me like this. Like it's going to be I'm not going to be looking into it, but this portion of the hat is what I'm going to be looking at. And it's going to be turned around, and I'm going to mix them all up. And every time I go to grab one, I'm going to mix them up again, just to make sure. Okay. So now that I have that, let's get started. I'm sure you're ready. Okay, pick number, and we're going to go from 16 to 1. Okay, pick number 16 goes to the Red Rockets, Kyle Klinker. The Red Rockets. I could think of something that's actually called a Red Rocket. I was just kind of concerned as to how Kyle came up with that name. Okay, 16. Okay, on to number 15. Okay, number 15 is Triple Trouble. That's Mark Triplett. He's the assistant LM. There's going to be quite the contrast from this video and the last one. The last one I was almost asleep, and this one I have a little bit of buzz after I had a little bit of wine. Pick 14. New York Binge Drinking. That's Jeff Nelson. He's an owner from League 1 in the category league. Okay. On to Number 13. Who's this? There we go. Bayou Tigers. Jonathan Knott. Pick number 13. That's the pick I got for League 2. I hate pick number 13. I'd rather kiss my sister and have pick number 13. Okay. This is, let's see here. Tom Lloyd, Newton Hardballers, is pick number 12. On to pick 11. Dancing with the Starlin. Pretty cool name. Josh Miller. That was pick 11. Let's go to, now we're on, what, we're on pick 10. Pick 10. Pick 10 is Kurt Zeppernick, Sterling Pirates. Pick number 10. And pick number 9. Pick number 9 goes to yours truly. I always like pick 8 or pick 9. I couldn't have asked for anything better. I'll take it. Okay. Now we're into the second half of the draft. Okay, this will be pick number 8. Goes to the Balking Dead, Aaron Shootman. Alright, pick number 7. Pick number 7 goes to the Claw. El Claw. Rico Lucero is pick number 7. Pick number 6 goes to the guy that actually gave us 16 owners tonight, less than a half hour ago. Team Golick, Joe Golick. I'm sure you'll come up with a better name when you have some time, Joe. Alright, now top 5. So you guys are sitting on the edge of your seats here. Let's see. Trent. Let's see. Bust Her Posey. Oh, that's spelled. You gotta love that. Bust Her Posey. That's Trent and Jeremy's team. That's pick 5. I hope they finish last. Let's see. Pick number 4. Pick 4 goes to. This is another good name. Nice Rackers. John Canavan. Oh man, you guys are just geniuses. Alright, now we're getting into the top 3. Top 3. I know Dennis is shitting his pants right now because he got pick 16 in the League 2. As soon as I say his name. Pick number 3 goes to Dennis St. Pierre, extra winnings. Okay, here's the last 2 picks. Here's pick number 2 goes to the Legion of Doom. Eric Paulin. The Legion of Doom. So if your name hasn't been called, I guess you already know right now you got numero 1. And that would be Wayne Costa. The Nodak Fighting Sioux. Wayne, my friend. You owe me many, many, many favors. Many favors. Okay. Just to run back really quickly. Wayne Costa got the first pick. Eric Paulin got the second pick. Dennis St. Pierre the third pick. Where's number 4 at? Number 4 is John Canavan. Number 5 is Trent and Jeremy. 6 is Joe Golick. 7 goes to Rico Lucero. 8 is Aaron Shootman. 9 goes to me. 10 is Kurt Zepernick. 11 is Josh Miller. 12 is Thomas Lloyd. 13 is Jonathan Nutt. 14 is Jeff Nelson. 15 is Mark Triplett. And last but not least, my good friend, the Red Rocket, Kyle Klinker, gets pick 16. That's pretty much wraps it up. What I would ask all of you guys that are listening, we really, really greatly appreciate it, especially the writers. They put in a good amount of time to get that stuff out. Hopefully you enjoy some of it. Some of it's helpful in regards to drafting your team or in our league or in somebody else's league. Make sure you are a subscriber to the blog. Like us on Facebook. It helps us tremendously just to get us more exposure. Follow us on Twitter. That's pretty much it. Every little thing that you guys can do to help out in regards to giving us more of a footprint trust me, I couldn't put it into words how much it's appreciated, especially with all the time we put in. But one last thing is that I personally think I'm just going to smoke every single one of you in this league this year. So, feel free to let me know how you feel about that. You want to put some side bets down. You want to do whatever it is that you want to do. Obviously, we can't put anything on the site. But, I would be more than interested in putting a side bet down with a couple of you. And matter of fact, I got one person in mind that I know would love to do that. So anyway, guys, good luck this year. Contact me if you need anything. See you later.